And
We
we're
live.
live.
We
How's
live.
it going,
We
everybody? This
live.
is my compadre, Fresh2000, Z Boy. Another name
What's
that
up,
goes
Pin
by
Man?
his name.
How you doing, y'all? Here with Black Angel Politics. And I got the Luffy hat, because just like Luffy, we liberating some people today.
It's not called that yet, but it might be a rebrand in the future.
It might be. Might be so.
Or I might call it Black Angel Resistance. I don't know.
Ooh, that's fire.
Because I want it to be a title that relates to my cat more literally. Um, because yeah, people can say, oh well, cat, yeah, but the KAT that's
What's
the
in
shorthand.
politics?
That's a shorthand for cat curry. And I don't know if I would want to have politics in the name. I would want it to be more like
Oh, dang. Lady K said I'm kind of echoing.
okay.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that might not be able to fix, or he might not be able to fix.
Is it like super awful? If it is, I don't know. We'll start a new stream or not, but
That's always an option. If
just let us know how awful it is. Like on a scale of like 1 to 5.
yeah, appreciate the like, appreciate that.
Appreciate it. Like,
So more people. It might because it's a Friday. Who knows?
we can always make this unlisted instead of going completely private. Just make it unlisted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll see though. We'll see what Leader K says. Just let us know if it's 1 to 5. Maybe one of you can turn down the audio on your side. Okay, I'm gonna turn down my side a little bit. Okay, how's it sound like now?
Is it possible that it could be background noise? I don't know if there's a way to.
I don't know, cause like when we first got in here, I don't think it was that bad.
Am I
I don't even
echoing?
think I don't think it echoed
Oh,
when I
okay.
first got in here.
Am I echoing?
No, I'm just on echoing apparently. But I wasn't echoing when I first got in here
Because
though.
she said turn down your volume.
I
And
did.
I
She
don't know. I don't
said
know.
you turn on yours too though.
I did. If I turn it down any lower though, I'm not gonna be able to hear a thing.
Goddamn, we got 7 people. Why I gotta be echoing with 7 people in this
Oh
bitch?
yeah. Welcome everyone. Please like the stream if you would.
Please, please. We sorry about the echoing. We
Yeah.
promise we'll be better.
Got some
15,
technical
bro. Oh no.
difficulties
Oh
here.
no.
Happy to have all 15. Hey, how's it going, Ashley Wolf?
We appreciate. I'm saying oh no because of the echo.
Yeah.
But I hope it's not too bad, guys.
You know what you might try if you have
What's up?
Oh, how do I
Oh,
do that? How do I do that?
I don't know, bro. We're on the phone.
Yeah, I'm really limited in terms of what I can do technically because I'm streaming from a phone.
Wait, what the heck just happened? We went to 15 to 4.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm Monkey D. Luffy right now.
What's it
We
called?
liberating the people of the internet.
Yeah, I don't know how to mess with settings in a stream. I'm guessing because it is a phone I'm streaming through that.
I'm gonna try muting real quick.
Unless it's somehow the fact that I have a ceiling fan on, but I kind of need the ceiling fan on because it's kind of hot.
All right. Okay, it's still bad.
I just thought of
Mm-mm.
something.
What's up?
Can you go live from YouTube Studio?
What about it?
The reason why I asked is because if it's possible to go live from YouTube Studio, maybe there would be more settings. Um,
I mean, on the computer, there's more settings.
so it's just because I'm using the smartphone. Well, it could also be because I'm using the app instead of going through the site. Oh, what you got there? Pizza?
Pizza.
I don't know why I thought that was pizza. Is that grilled cheese?
You're just hungry, bro. Grilled ham, grilled cheese.
No, I'm not hungry. I had a. I legit, for some reason, thought it was pizza. I don't know why. mm. Ooh, you got some
Rate
watermelon.
the sandwich.
I just polished off some watermelon earlier today. Uh, I didn't get a whole one. We went to the store the other day and got ooh, that voice crack. Got one of those got one of those half watermelon. What I mean by half is, you know how you go into the store and you can get part of one that's already cut and it's wrapped.
Mm-hmm.
I
Watermelon.
also I also love me some cantaloupe and melon. Or is it? No, not. It's not
Oh,
melon. It's honeydew. Honeydew.
I love me some honeydew.
Mm. See, hopefully the echo's not going to be that bad. But well, I had a thought though, and that was um not wait canary melon. Is that the yellow? Is that yellow in color?
In case there's something about canary melon.
I think if my phone charges, oh nice. I'm gonna have to try that at some point. Um, I might see about putting a pair of headphones on because I wouldn't be surprised if that got rid of the echo. Um,
Oh, you know what? That might be a good point. Let me see. Let me
oh,
try these headphones.
I definitely gotta try it then. You know what kind of fruit I really want to try that I've only ever had in as a vitamin water flavor. I really want to try dragon fruit. I think your screen froze. Did his screen froze? That's not good. Damn. Am I gonna have to? Am I gonna have to? Also, I swore to myself that I wasn't gonna swear during these streams, even though it said it's not made for kids. I also know that you can get into a bit of trouble through swearing unless you have more subs. But hey, maybe that's not true. Maybe that's not the case. Might have to. Um, might have to re-invite him. Um, I'm not sure though, because if he can hear me, that'd be pretty messed up to just hit hit the uninvite and then send it again. That's just oh. thing is still frozen. Now I can't even see him or hear him. Dang nabbit. Alright. I gotta give him a new link. Alright. Gotta love these technical difficulties, right? Start a new one. Yeah, okay. So to the two watching, we're gonna start a new stream. Oh wait, I did start a new stream. How did that happen? I started a new stream. That's that's crazy. I don't even remember starting a new one.
Hey, can you see me now?
Let's take a quick commercial break. Brought to you by Coca Cola. Yes, I can see you. Let me see. What's my best impression of a Coke? I can't even remember the last time. Whenever I
Yeah,
think
that
of
was a good one, Lake.
whenever yes it was whenever I think of Coke commercials, I always think of the polar bears. I think it's either a father polar bear or a mother polar bear picks up the Coke bottle and pull and takes a drink from it and then gives it to the cub.
Do not say anything. I
What?
know what you're thinking. Do not say it.
What am I thinking?
Not you. Just anybody watching. Do not say it.
Oh, yeah, that's
Probably best for me not eat that, friend.
uh, all I'm gonna say is if anyone does say something, they're freaking getting banned. He's, he- yeah, that isn't it ridiculous that a person can't just eat food and someone has to make a comment about what it is? Like, come on. We're not children here, and we're civilized adults. Um, yeah, I just it's like isn't it ridiculous that any person should be not ashamed to eat certain things, but almost kind of hesitant to because oh my god, someone's gonna make comments. Well,
Yeah, it sucks. It
it's like
sucks, but you know.
it's like when did certain foods become an insult to groups? I mean, now that I think about it,
Hey,
there aren't any stereotypical white people foods, are there?
hey, man, I don't want to keep on the topic. I made a
Yeah,
throwaway comment. Let's
I had
move
to be
on.
an idiot and open my fat mouth.
Yeah, let's
So
move on.
apologies for that if that
Uh,
came across a certain
to
way.
the I know you didn't mean nothing about it. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm
I
saying
may have even made it bigger than it was. You
yeah,
know, it might have been the bank. No one thought about it. So I said it first. You know what I'm saying?
be
Pulling the race car or whatever. But let's get back on topic.
yeah.
The main point of this stream is talking about the future state of this channel.
There might not be much of a future state if it stays at only two views per stream.
It was 15, man. It was 15. Then they heard the echo. Then they heard the echo. And they was like,
Nah, you know what might have happened? There were 15 there. They were like, "Oh, I don't see a cat. I'm out."
yeah. They heard that echo and then went to the void. The dark void back there, though.
They heard that echo and they got blown away.
Back there behind me is the void century.
Censor. He's gonna open the curtain and wipe. One Piece is gonna be behind him.
Right. Brother Malone. But yeah, future state of this channel. Uh, like he said earlier, he's gonna probably rebrand the name. Um, probably more streaming, more beautiful thumbnails, probably with some cats in it. Uh, you know, um, but ultimately at the same time, it depends on you, dear viewer, on what he does because he generally wants y'all to answer back and respond to him and give your feedback on what you want to see.
Yes, cats. Cause I'm thinking the best route to take is to kind of build this around the fact that I have a cat and find ways to use her in videos. I could just do something as simple as show her while doing a video, but I kind of want to involve her in some way, which is silly because she's a cat. It's not like she's gonna open her mouth one day and start saying, "Well, I have an opinion on this and that and this and that."
Well, who knows? Maybe she will.
My God, could you imagine my cat just starts speaking human language and
Actually, she does. Remember the cat's dots? That may even become its own segment. Who knows?
well, I was thinking of sticking with that, leading with that. But what I want to do is I want to try to figure out a way to make my voice sound more cat-like. I don't know if that's possible, but
Be like, round, bitch. Oh, I'm sorry. You too aggravated.
unless I was to somehow put in subtitles.
Like I said, I got a recommendation for a YouTuber.
Flossie Carter. Alrighty. I will definitely give him a look. I appreciate that. Um, if I was
Flossie
to,
Carter.
where can I write that down at? Because I know I'm gonna forget it. um, Awesome. What's funny is when you did that, I imagine Luffy stretching his face out like he did that one time.
Oh yeah. Like,
Alright,
moves like rubber.
yes. Let me write that down. How you doing, darling? You alright? You okay, kitty? You okay? Did you get woken up? I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. You're tuckered out.
Yeah.
You can get some.
Make sure to like the stream. Tell your friends all about it.
Alright.
I'm talking to a talking cat right now. That's what it looks like. He just got pet profile pic.
I'm actually his cat. This isn't actually the one that puts things on this channel.
Right, plot twist. Ooh. Twilight Zone. This is hilarious.
You know, this is gonna sound weird, but if I could figure out a way to do a more authentic impression of the Thanos voice from the movies,
Mm.
I could start uh, speaking as him and call my cat Gamora while doing those videos, and see if that
My
my
Gamora.
Gamora. God, that pepper messed with my throat. That came out wrong, didn't it?
uh,
It's like, let's not go there.
well,
Well, dread it, run from it.
this channel is progressive. You know what I'm
Progressive. You
saying?
know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Uh,
hey, if that's what
why
you're
not?
rocking with,
Hey, if that's what you're rocking with. I don't know how a person would hear this and think progressive. Dude flat out tried to wipe out half of all life.
I mean, he was
I
progressing.
mean,
He was progressing
he was
towards
progressing
something. You
towards
know.
something. You know. That's true. That's true. He also wasn't selling any soup cans.
I mean, if we want to get technical,
If we want to get technical,
I mean,
I mean,
no, actually, no, that wouldn't be the
actually, no,
case.
that wouldn't be the case.
Because I was thinking,
I was
I,
thinking,
I was gonna
I
say,
was gonna
if we
say,
want to get
if we want to
technical,
get technical,
Thanos did lower
Thanos did lower
tariffs,
tariffs,
but no, they would
but
go
no,
up
they would go
because of
up
less
because
people.
less people.
Whatever.
Whatever. Wait, what will go up?
I said, I was
I was
arguing
arguing
whether tariffs
whether
would go up
tariffs
or
will go up
down
or down
because of
because of
Thanos.
Thanos. Huh. Um. I mean, this is gonna sound really twisted, and
Be careful what you say.
be careful what you say. Gonna make it perfectly clear. I'm not in any way suggesting that this should happen or that I want it to happen, but you know, the less people, the less money there is to spend, and more harm it has on the economy. Um, I would imagine at least.
So you saying Thanos was
So you're
right?
saying Thanos was right? Also, one of the unfortunate side effects of that would be that you wouldn't have nearly as many people driving, which means a lot less air pollution.
Yes.
It's a terrible way for that to happen. But
The thing is, though,
the thing is, though,
Thanos also took
Thanos
away,
also took away
when you say half a
when you say
life,
half a life
that
that
includes plant life.
includes plant life, which was always when someone pointed out. I might have even been you who pointed it out to me. As soon as it
Yeah, I
was pointed
did.
out to me, I was like, that just makes no sense. Like I get it, he's the Mad Titan, he's off his rocker, but you could still be a well-intentioned evildoer, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like a well-intentioned evildoer might be like, well, I can wipe out half of all like half of all the most intelligent species on each planet, or and but make it so that none of the plants are affected. Um,
He was well intentioned in his own
Attention
mind.
in his own mind. Yeah, of course it was. Because you know, if he really wanted to help, he would have just made it so that there was enough resources for everyone.
Yeah, the thing is
The
about a
thing
lot
is
of
about a lot of
people
people
with power
power
and things of that nature.
things of that
Um,
nature.
they often are very stuck on their
Often are very
views
stuck on their views
and use their views
and
as
use
the
their
only right way.
views as the only right way. That is true, and that's reminds me of that one line of from Obi-Wan when he says to Anakin, "Only a Sith deals in absolutes." Which pretty much means that the Sith are always set in their ways and are not capable of change. Um,
Yeah.
and I just randomly had an image in my head of Thanos as a Sith Lord. Sith Lord. What's crazy is I would almost argue that a more comic book accurate Thanos would have made more sense because Thanos wasn't really that mad, as in insane. Like he was evil.
Mad also means the same.
Yeah, but he's way more insane in the comics. Like he's so insane in the comics that it
Yeah, I mean he's trying to court death, Lady Death.
yeah. And it also kind of goes against the fact that he says that at the end of
Pretty,
his under something basically continuing down this path would court death, and and you see his face on the screen, and he smiles,
yeah,
basically
yeah.
saying. So I
He's
honestly don't.
retcon for sure.
Honestly, now that I think about it, don't understand why they didn't just give a more believable reason for him to want to be with Death. Make Death an actual character, bring her into the movies, and say that, and give a reason, a more interesting reason for why he's fallen for Death. And there you go. Because the problem with the whole half of all life thing is that that was just a forced reason to make that happen. Because that's what he does in that comic. And the only reason why he doesn't in that comic is a show of power. He's trying to flex, basically. He's trying to convince Death that we're equals and I can wipe out half of all life. It just makes it seem super silly for them to have gone with that as like the main thing he wants the gauntlet for is to wipe out half of all life. Like I don't know, it just sounds a bit silly.
I mean, I love movie John, but I hear you.
Oh, I do too. Um, I absolutely do. But now that I think about it, yeah, they probably could have found a way to. What they could have done is they could have made it so that death was the reason why he chose to do that. Like he meets death, maybe he actually does die, and death says, "I'm gonna bring you back to life and give you a mission to find the Infinity Stones and use
Found
their power to
the
save
found
us."
of One Piece.
Like that's what I would have done. I would have had hell. I would have. Did I just say hell? I would have had death send him on a journey. And basically tell him find the Infinity Stones and use their power to make it so that no no living beings ever have to go hungry again. Or maybe even say the reason why half of all life had to be wiped out is because it's some kind of a payment he needed to make uh to death for some reason.
Yeah.
You could have done that. Um you could still have your Thanos that seems somewhat knowable in a very twisted way. But
Hey,
also incorporate the, love for death aspect.
yeah. Bro, I think people are used to seeing your face. But there's one thing too.
All right. I feel like what I should have done is well before all of this is I should have looked in to see if because I know that they make I don't want to say cameras, but I know they make devices and stuff that make it so that you don't have to hold your phone at all times. I really hate being on camera because it's like I don't look the best.
I mean, 50, 60 some people don't give a fuck.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Because look at Asmongold. That guy's that guy's home is a literal dump, and he's got
Yeah, I mean, like,
millions of people that watch him.
I mean, yeah, bro. Like, have some confidence in yourself, man. people F with you, bro. That's why you gotta say something subscribers.
Like I feel as though I could shave one side of my hair off and one eyebrow off and put a bunch of designs on my face with a sharpie and people wouldn't care.
Right. I mean, you have your audience. What happened to those 15 people? That's gonna be tripping me out. I wonder what happened. Like, usually I don't care about views, but I was like, oh shoot, 15. Oh, four people. Oh, two. I'm happy for every viewer, but it was like, what happened to those 15 folks? Cat cameo.
When people see her, you can see her ear. She's sleeping. Had a hard day. Cat's life.
She chilling and grilling.
Mm-hmm. It could also be the time and the fact that it's Friday.
But people are actually doing things nowadays.
I know, right?
I mean, what time do people usually show up for your stream? So that can go to plans too. Plans for the future.
Yes, that's something I've been meaning to figure out. What the best, uh, you know, not absolute best, but what the quote unquote best time to go live in the day, and also what day of the week would be best. Um,
Right.
I also know that the more likes you have, I think that helps get it
Yeah,
out.
I think it seems like people really generally show up during like later on, like around like 5 plus,
Yeah.
5 p.m. plus,
You know what's really frustrating is the fact
5
that you
p.m.
can't.
plus.
What's really frustrating to me is you
Yeah,
can't add tags before a stream is started. If you could add tags before a stream is started to kind of, I don't know, affect the algorithm, I feel like that would help. But
yeah. I don't know if you can or not. I think you can after the stream. I think you actually maybe I'm trying to remember can you or not. I'm not exactly sure, but I think I've added tags before on the stream on the computer. But I'm not sure about the phone because the last time I streamed was like 3 years ago, and before then I have a screen in like forever. So would you want to get into like gaming or something?
yeah, I'd like. I mean, on I'd probably get back into Twitch and then at some point add the link in the place where you add your links, and then see what happens. Um,
What about like on Twitch or something?
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Um, Probably not anytime soon because there's that boycott, and I'm kind of trying to be part of that by not doing anything on Twitch until it's over.
Wait, what's going on with the boycott?
There's another huge. Well, I assume it'll be huge because the other Amazon boycotts have helped. Send the message that we don't like. That people are doing, and it's like those Target boycotts and Walmart boycotts. Um, Over getting rid of DEI. From what I understand, it's having an effect on them. Because you know Target was seeing their money, seeing that they're losing money, and their investors apparently got on them about getting rid of DEI. It's obviously not funny, but it's funny. It's funny to me how all these businessmen and women, um, for these big companies are idiots. They've got all this money, but they're really not intelligent. They're total morons. And obviously that's not the case for every single company, but a lot of these big corporations are headed by total stone dumb idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I understand that people like Target, but even before this whole, I was really big on Target because I used to work for them, and I had a not so great experience working for Target. Pretty much told me all I needed to know. Once again,
Yeah.
I gotta
I
scratch
mean, the
some.
whole DEI thing is some BS because, obviously, like, you need every American person you could have
The
doing
thing
certain
that makes me
things.
so sad is
That's why I've been issues with like planes and stuff earlier throughout the year, and a lot of things aren't able to get done
there's still
because you're making it so that only a smaller percentage of people can get certain jobs to be able to do certain things.
yep,
So it's just not smart in the long run.
yeah, it's
Like not even just only about racism and being cruelty. It's just not even smart.
it isn't smart. It's and all of these people are morons. Every single one of them. They're evil morons, but they're morons. Um,
The
there's
case I heard working for Target is not that good.
it wasn't for me. It was. I mean, it started off okay, but it didn't end well. Um, but and that's the thing that frustrates me about DEI is the argument that it needs to be gone is you do realize that was intended
It was first
for
used to help white women.
that. No,
And
that I did not know.
they don't know that a lot of things they want to get rid of. A lot of things that they vote for to hurt people also affect them as well.
I'm just absolutely sick and tired of humanity. There, I said it. I'm sick and tired of humanity. I'm sick and tired of let's just call it what it is. Dead, long since dead views that should have stayed buried from centuries ago. Should have stayed buried.
Because once things are moving up, the old man want to put you back down.
Yep, and I know it's not this
Like
simple, but I guarantee you that preventing old people from being in positions of power would probably help to some degree. If you said that a person at a certain age cannot be in any position in the government, from that alone you might see positive change. Remain. And obviously there's a whole education thing. But for me it's not even so much education. Because I don't buy that being hateful is 100% taught.
mm,
I don't buy that. I mean, it's also due to personal experience because there are people who were raised in racist households, but then when they got older and had some sense, they realized, wow, this is just hate, pure and simple, and there's no
Awful.
logic behind it. And yeah, send them to retirement. Um, it's just
Yeah, the
yeah,
problem with
the problem with
a lot of
a
things
lot
is
of
that
things is that
humans are very
humans are
social
very social
creatures. Um,
creatures,
creatures that
creatures that
often enable ideas from
often
what they're
enable
taught
ideas from where they're taught
at a young age,
at a young age,
and
and
they refuse to
they
unlearn it
refuse
because
to
it's
unlearn
something
it
that's been
because it's
ingrained in
something that's
them
been ingrained in them
as a kid,
as a
especially with the
kid,
idea of
especially with the
the
idea
human
of the
ego
human ego
of not wanting
of
to be
not
seen as
wanting
a
to be
bad
seen as a
person.
bad person.
Instead, just
Instead, just
accepting
accepting
I'm human, I'm
I'm
flawed.
human, I'm
It's possible
flawed.
my
It's
ideas are
possible my ideas
backwards
are
and
backwards
cruel.
and cruel.
They'll just double down and
They'll just double
just
down and just
create justifications for
create
themselves,
justifications for themselves. Well,
such as race
such as
theory or
race
looking up
theory or looking up
statistics of certain
statistics of
things.
certain things.
You people
You
are the
people
reason this
are the
always
reason this
happened. They
always
love
happened.
using
They
that you
love using
people
that you
thing,
people
especially on
thing,
Twitter.
especially on Twitter. Yeah, because it's never
Uh, and often it's the case.
often it's the case. You know, it goes to show you that to some extent racism is, maybe I shouldn't say created by the elite class, but it's definitely propped up by them as a
It,
manipulation tool.
it's a form of
It's a
division.
form of
Yeah,
division.
form of
Yeah.
division.
Yeah. Division. Yeah.
If the people below
If the
you don't
people
realize
below
they
you don't
outnumber you,
realize they outnumber you,
then they
then
can't do anything.
they can't do anything. Yep. Yeah. That's always how it goes. And I don't want to be that guy, but I am so sick of being right. I feel like whenever I would say, whenever somebody would come to me about, having hope for humanity and believing that positive change is actually going to come and it's going to last, I was always the one that would say, nah, I don't think it will. And look where we are. Um, you know,
The thing about having
the thing
hope for
about having hope for
humanity
humanity
is
is,
okay.
okay,
I say this:
I said this.
if not
If
hope,
not hope,
because hope isn't logical to you,
because hope
then
isn't logical
realism.
to you, then realism.
And the realism is that
And the realism is that
people obviously have
people
both a good and
obviously
a
have
bad
both a
side.
good and a bad side.
Uh,
Uh,
are capable of
are
change,
capable of
are capable of
change,
doing
are
the right
capable of doing the
thing.
right thing.
Um, and obviously, like we established,
And
capable of doing the
obviously,
wrong
like we
thing.
established, capable of doing the wrong thing. Yeah.
And the thing that
And dang, that
should be pushed
should
forward
be pushed forward
is that
is that
concept.
concept.
And the reason for
And the
that
reason for that
is to
is to
understand
understand
and to
and to
grow
grow
and do good
and do
despite
good despite
what other people
what
are
other
doing.
people are doing. Yeah.
How you decide to
How you
approach
decide to
it
approach it
or decide to do
or decide to do
yourself.
yourself. Yeah. And I don't want to offend anyone who believes in anything, because that's not what I'm here to do. Um, and I'm not anti believing in things. I am anti establishment, especially when it comes to religion. That said, however, that's just the organization of it. I am 100% for faith, 100% for spirituality, 100% for believing and feeling things. But when you bring a book that was man made and you bring talking points that are easily manipulated, but that are easily twisted by people into the equation, that's when I have a problem with religion. Because you are quite literally not practicing what you're preaching.
Yes.
When you claim to be kind-hearted, decent human being, and you're taking a book and you're saying things that are in it that are not in it at all.
Right. Exactly. A
Um,
lot of Christians,
right. Exactly.
vocal
A lot of
Christians, don't even read the
Christians,
Bible.
vocal Christians, don't even read the Bible.
The Bible tells you to love thy
The
neighbor.
Bible tells you to love thy neighbor. Yep.
Use it as
Use it as
propaganda to make
propaganda
yourself
to make
feel
yourself feel
self-righteous and morally
self-righteous and
superior,
morally
but you don't even
superior, but you
follow
don't
what's
even
in it.
follow what's in it.
You just use it
You
as a
just use it
source
as a
to
source to
say this is
say
the
this is
the right
the
way
right
to
way
hate
to
on
hate on
people who are
people
different
who
from
are
me.
different from me. Yeah. And that's the reason why I'm anti-religion, not anti-faith, not anti-spiritual. I'm just anti-religion in its current form. If religion could be changed for the better, I'd be all for it.
So
But
I'm gonna let you
I'm
go
gonna let
first.
you
Now
go
I'll say
first. Now
my
I'll
point
say my point
on that.
on that. Now, because he does kind of tie into the, because let's be honest, there's always going to be certain problems with religious leaders. One of those things where, again, it's been taught for so long and it's so ingrained into them that unfortunately you're not going to get uh, a pope or priests by and large to accept things like same-sex marriage and all that stuff. However, when you know, because I was looking up some things about this current pope, and I learned that he had a great relationship with with the previous pope, who a lot of people saw as a pope for progress. And this guy was not only made a cardinal by this pope, basically handpicked, but from what I'm hearing, he was also the previous pope's chosen choice to succeed him. Like, he apparently wanted this guy to be the next pope. So, not trying to be a certain way towards people who are legitimately and have every right to be upset about the fact that you know religious leaders are still very old fashioned in their way of thinking. But he spoke out against hate. He spoke out against things that certain hateful people have been saying and doing. Um, and I will trust the words of a religious leader far more than I'll trust the words of a politician.
Mm.
Because I think a religious leader is more likely to tell you their views point for point than a politician is.
Say that one time.
Say that one time. I believe that a religious leader is far more likely to tell you exactly how they feel than a politician who will twist things and lie.
That's actually
That's actually
very true.
very true. Um,
Even if it's good and
Even if it's
bad,
good and bad, yeah,
I prefer when
I
people
prefer
put
when people
themselves
put
out there.
themselves out there.
I want to know where you
I want to know
stand.
where you stand.
If you're a hateful, bitter person, let me know that.
Let me
Don't
know
be in
that.
front of my
Don't be
face
in front of my face
acting like you're
acting like you're
this and that,
this
and
and
then
that,
behind my
and
back
then behind my back
be
be like,
don't do that. Just
don't
let
do
me
that.
know where you
Just let me know
stand
where
right
you
right off the
stand
bat,
right off the bat. Yeah, because
so I can know how to
so I can know
approach
how to
you.
approach you. The people who claim that these insane ideas are right, the people that claim that we're saving the country by doing this, we're bettering humanity by doing this. If you truly believe in that and think that's the right way to go about things, why are you so afraid to say that just right in front of everybody? Why are you so afraid?
The
all
twisted
these
thing is that sometimes they probably do delude themselves, but they are saving humanity in America. But
But here's the thing about that. I'm not gonna
but
say his name because it can be a red flag for YouTube. But a certain a German, let's say, who lived what was it like about a century ago. He did believe 100% in what
also
he was
dope on
saying.
the mic.
He did truly believe in everything he thought. Would tell what he believed. This guy, he's just a fanboy. That's all he is a
So
fanboy,
Kylo Ren
and
versus
he
Darth
is
Vader. Now let me lie the man. So Kylo Ren versus Darth Vader.
pretty much definitely has that emotional instability too, because you know Kylo Ren was prone to throwing fits. He was prone to tantrums.
Yeah, and we know what Kylo Ren did when his dad gave him a small loan of $1 million.
Yeah. Um, so it's like if I ever had the opportunity to, I'm not saying I want the opportunity, but if I was ever in a position to where I met somebody with these say, well, why are you so afraid to tell people how you feel? If you're, I don't know if I can say the
Yeah, and if you're ashamed of how you feel, because that
certain
negative,
word,
change yourself as a person. Like
well, yeah,
I
basically,
get it. I get that admitting that you're wrong hurts because trust me, it hurts a lot. Admitting that you're wrong hurts to the core. But man, sometimes you have to.
yeah, you absolutely do. Um, because you'll just carry that around forever. Um,
Yeah.
well, I agree with
Like
that.
when you're so into the idea that your ideas is right,
Yes.
it does hurt to be like, man, maybe I was wrong this whole time.
Well, I mean, if you're mentally ill to that extent, you're never gonna feel that way. Unless
Sure.
you're
Well, I'm just talking about in general in life too, though. By the way, when I say that,
right. Well,
like you
I
get
like
so
to think that
caught in
most
the idea that you're right.
I like to think that most people wouldn't do that. I like to think that most people they have a breaking point or they have a line that they won't cross. Um, you know,
Sure.
um,
Yes.
and in
Well,
answer to
I'm
what
just
you
talking about
said,
lies. I'm just talking about accountability in general. Accountability in general, and the ability to look within oneself and tell oneself that I was wrong. I need to do better.
you kind of need to have a
That's what I mean.
conscience for that. You kind of have to have a conscience for that. Is
A
is
con-
is
a,
is
a,
is
not only a conscious, but also humility.
yeah, you do. Um, part of being emotionally intelligent, which none of these people are. They are not emotionally intelligent. Um, as for what you had said, because they know there are consequences about saying their real thoughts. I don't completely agree with that, only because these are individuals who believe they're untouchable, who believe that they will never have to face consequences.
And the sucky thing is that sometimes certain people allow it to be proved to be right.
Yeah.
Because
And in
ultimately,
the case,
there are games in place that can lock them up for doing certain things, but they don't go through with it.
yeah, I remember years ago I'd read something on a ever I must have been on my phone looking up something in the news, and I found out about this kid who had been killed by somebody. I don't know if the driver was a drunk driver or was just not paying attention. Ran over a kid. Turned out this guy came from like an influential family, and he either didn't get punished at all, or he got off of a lighter sentence. And that's when I realized that it's not necessarily literally them never facing consequences, but in a lot of cases it is. Um, and it's why I honestly have a hard time believing that anyone in those positions are ever going to see a jail cell. That's why I have a hard time believing that. I want to be wrong. 100% I want to be wrong. I would love to see all of them in orange jumpsuits just locked up.
Well, it's
But
possible there will be a day and age where you'll be proven wrong that they will face
yeah,
consequences. They will face consequences. There'll be a day and age where people will face consequences.
but then again, I also have to remember that these people are cowards. If they weren't cowards, they would come right out and tell you exactly how they feel. Um, but yeah, what needs to happen is it needs to be there needs to be a financial limit for anybody to run for a position. You cannot allow people that are rich to be in politics. You just can't. You can't allow them to run. You just can't. Because then their mindset is going to be, well, I have all this money, and the reason why I ran is because I want to give myself even more money. I'm not going to go so far as to say we need to only elect people that are poor, even though I would love for that to be the case. You know, poor meaning not rich, but you know, well educated, intelligent people. Um,
I mean, hey, who knows? The homeless man could be well educated for all you know.
oh yeah, oh absolutely. I mean, you know, and the homeless person would have a better chance of being a considerate human being and coming from nothing. Well, in not literally, but in the sense that this person hasn't had a home and has had to uh, do whatever was necessary to survive. Might not live like a king if you put them in the White House. You know, um, they might have a lot more humility, a lot more humanity to
Right?
them.
Yeah,
Um,
putting people in power to for civilians who have never known struggle, who have never been taught to have empathy for others, is an awful, objectively awful decision.
yeah, another thing that has to be needs to is an absolute must. Mandatory psyche evals for every candidate. No exceptions. You make sure that they are not. You make sure they're right in the head.
Don't tell me.
It might have. In which case, I'll have to
Did it
add them back.
freeze again?
It did, but you're back. Um,
Hello. Wait, did you start a new?
no,
Huh?
is it showing it as a new stream?
It looks like on my side, you look like you start a new stream.
I did not. It's still ongoing. Um,
Oh, what's up with the time then?
I have
Okay, I'm
no
just gonna
idea.
leave and you give me a link back, okay?
All right, not a problem. as I said, I'm tired of being right about things when it comes to this. Like, it's gonna get really dark what I'm about to say, but I've got a strong feeling that there's only one way out of this, and it's the way that nobody wants to go. Because now they're pretty much saying that they're trying to find workarounds in regards to the Constitution. They're they've already arrested what, two judges, arrested a mayor who are only standing with the people and doing their jobs. They I think talked about arresting governors. Um, yeah, it's yep. It was a New Jersey mayor. It was the mayor of New Jersey, or a mayor of somewhere in New Jersey that was I guess I didn't add him or give him a. But yeah, there was a mayor in New Jersey. ICE arrested for getting in the way of their deportation nonsense. Just oh no, that's not what it was. It was a protest, um, and ICE arrested him. Um,
Yo, you hear me?
yeah.
Why is Lady K saying say what?
Oh, I was talking about how I think it was today there was a mayor in New Jersey that was arrested by ICE
Oh,
just for standing with protesters
mm,
and trying to get in the way of these illegal deportations,
mm, mm, mm.
and he got arrested.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the lighten the tone just a little bit though. Uh,
mhm.
do you want to finish talking about all your plans for the channel or like future stream ideas you have and stuff?
Well, I mean, I would, but with only two viewers, I'm not. Well, I mean, people would be able to see this after the fact. Um, I have well, the only real plan I have for the future is an idea to have a somewhat kind of fun stream about fictional characters that could be president,
Mm-hmm.
and then discuss it at length. Um, and
Such as, well, I don't know if he'll be in there, but
as a president, uh, I mean, don't get me wrong, he'd be a million times better than who we have now. But then again, any person with
who
decency
would?
would. Like, my cat would be a better president. um, Freaking tree would probably be a better president. Um, and on that note, I think we need to stop calling this guy president because he's not a president. He just isn't. It might be his title, but that's not what he is. He's not a president. That's a job. That's a servant for the people. This man is not serving anyone. Um,
He's more like self. If he's serving, he's more like self-serving.
yeah, exactly. The only one he's serving is himself.
Right. Yeah.
Which it's kind of not actually funny, obviously, because of how dire how awful it is, but in an ironic sort of way, it's kind of funny how these people lined up behind him, holding him up like some kind of leader that's gonna bring them into a
Speaking of which,
better world. You know,
since people don't know me, you know me. A lot of people on the internet on my side know me. Maybe not on your side know me. I just want y'all to know something about me, real quick. Just 'cause I make jokes does not mean that I don't think what goes on is awful in the world, or I don't take certain things seriously. Sometimes I make jokes to levy up my own mood, uh, and also if I feel like the mood could be bad for others. So
yeah. Well,
and there's also sometimes I cope with humor and things like that. So
you know, I have a lot of not, I don't want to say envy as if to suggest it in a bad way, but I noticed that there is a lot of people that are able to not freak out all the time. They're able to keep themselves composed. They're able to keep themselves calm despite things. I'll see these legal experts that I watch. They'll just shake their head in disbelief. They obviously know that this is not okay, but they're not freaking out. They're able to retain some degree of calm. Um, and I don't want to say that I'm jealous of them, but I kind of am because I'm not really capable of being that way. Um, like look at your comedians that are still making jokes about things that are happening. Not making jokes about the people that are causing all these things to happen. And they're still somehow capable of smiling despite everything. And I'll see those videos and say, I wish I could be that way. I wish I was able to get my head into that same mental space because I recognize that the only way to deal with something is to not be consumed by it. Um, you know, you just can't um, you can't allow yourself to drown in all of that. Um, but unfortunately, for some, including myself, it's easier said than done. Um,
yeah, it's something that's not always easy for me either. Um, the thing is about the universe, about humanity, is that there is always a yin and yang, right?
mhm.
And I want to say yin and yang instead of what I actually want, which is that the universe does not care how bad we feel about it. But instead, I'm gonna say yin and yang because that's a bit more of a I think, better way to approach it. Without leading into nihilism and things like that. So about yin and yang, uh, there's always a potential for good, potential for bad, right?
Yep.
And especially with a complex species such as humans, um, who have all these different ideas and things they want to do. You know, humans are so complicated that nothing can ever be truly stationary. Um, there's both going to be an order and a chaos, probably because of how the universe is, in the sense of it's this void that doesn't have uh, a particular state, but also because of how human minds work. And I said to say that that's somewhat of a philosophy that's helped me cope in the sense that I less looking at oneself as a uh, victim of darkness of the world, more of just how the world is, and what you can do is found ways to deal with it, and also make it uh, better in your own way, even if it's just in your own circle, right? You know, helping your own people. Um, and also, there's another idea you can go with. This ain't one I exactly agree with, but I do understand when people say this one that I'm trying to say is the idea that you wouldn't realize how positive certain names are about the bad. And I don't 100% agree with it, but I do see where they're coming from. Because when you do fail and then you eventually succeed, it's like, oh man, I can't believe I got here. I'm finally here, right? I've been in a situation before where I haven't had to struggle for anything, and it leaves me stationary. It makes it hard for you to aspire to certain things. Um, when you're in a situation where it's like, I do want to do this, but I don't have to. Depending on who you are, that can make it harder for you to do certain things. Because like, well, I don't have to do it right now. I'm gonna keep putting it off. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry if I'm rambling. I'm just saying my thoughts out there.
I mean, hey,
But
this entire stream has just been nothing but
yeah,
rambling.
but the general point is that you have to understand how the world works, how the universe works, and once you see it that way, you'll see yourself as probably less as just a victim of darkness and more of just how the world is. It's not like it's something particularly against you or any other people.
Yeah.
But it also does not mean that you can't make things better or input your own positivity onto the world.
Yeah.
You can be like, well, in the news, this happened to this person, this happened to this person, but at the same time, you could choose to help somebody homeless, right? Bring back the homeless person. You could choose to go buy them some food or something, you know? And that's even as that is a positive force you put into the world. And like I said about the succeeding thing, it's not something I completely agree with when it comes to everything. I do think that you have to, or maybe not even have to. I do really understand both good and bad having sometimes failure does make your success feel even more, or when you need, or when you don't already have certain things, it does inspire you more to chase after certain dreams.
It makes the fruits of your labor that much sweeter.
Yeah, it actually does though, legitimately though.
Yeah, I would absolutely, I would imagine so. No, I'm gonna say one final thing on this whole mess. I think what frustrates me the most is that the people that are talking about this are not acting as though it's the end of the world. Not saying that you need to tell people to be in constant fear and that they need to think, oh my god, there's nothing we can do. This is it. Oh. I don't think they're doing a good enough of a job of explaining to people just how dire things could be. I don't think they've been communicating enough that we need to be screaming our heads off in opposition at every single turn, every single day, minute, hour. Need to be non-stop shouting in opposition and gathering people and, and contacting people and having meetings with people and having a conversation all of the time about what everyone can do detail by detail. Um, because I'm tired of seeing people say, "Oh, well, it's only a certain amount of time until we vote again." Really? That to me just sounds like, "Oh, well, we can
Yeah,
just vote again."
I think it would be a great idea for you to release your protest song, or even like multiple protest songs, like upload them as short so they can reach a large audience
Yes,
beyond even the stream.
that's not a bad idea at all. And honestly, um, you know, motivating others to try and become part of something to stand against everything that's going on was really my main reason for deciding to put videos out there. It's
Oh,
like, if people want to see videos of a cat, if that's what gets most of the viewers, well, then I guess that's just gonna be that. Um,
why not both? You
well,
know?
it could be both, but it's like I'd pretty much have to use. Um, I was gonna say I'd have to use her, but that doesn't really make sense because she's a cat. It's not like I'm extorting my cat, but you know,
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're forcing your cat to even look at the camera. Because your cat, a lot of times, is just sitting around,
yeah.
and he'd be like, "Look at my cat.
But yeah, I'm
Look at
I'm
my puss." Oh,
I'm figuring what I'm pretty much gonna have to do is use her to get myself more views and more subs over time, and then um, work
I
on
mean, the
my.
thing is, though, man, I think that like, let's think about it. Let's think about it. Let's get into. We're not gonna get to One Piece. Let's talk about One Piece, right? Even with serious stuff going on, all it adds a bit of humor in it to make it digestible,
Yes.
right? Dark and Gloom, even as important to understand it and do something about it, it can destroy a person's brain. it can make you go insane.
That's true.
And I can tell you that from experience. So, in order to push ideas out there, it will help to have some level of levity at times as well.
Oh yeah, levity is the only way that you not only survive but prepare for the time in which you can start to thrive.
Yeah. I
Because
mean, humans are part of the animal kingdom.
well, yeah, of course we are.
And that's why we often fight. We often survive in the wild. Survive in the wild. Even the wild is modeled with roads and street lights and stuff. We still gotta survive out here.
This is true.
Keep the lights on and such.
Yep. Um,
Speaking of lights, you got a light on in the hallway, the fan on in up there.
so, interesting fact about me. Um,
Light bill lowering.
I never grew out of my fear of the dark that I've had ever since I was a kid. Never grew out of it. I've slept with a light on in my room, uh, for as long as almost as for pretty much as long as I've been alive. Um,
I mean, that's understandable. You should at least have a night light.
that never ended up being enough for me because what would happen is I would have hallucinations. Um,
Oh,
I would see things that weren't there, um, and so not having a room that's brightly lit, um, would only serve to make things worse.
I got you, man. I'm
So
sorry.
like, I remember one time. This was years ago.
We don't gotta get into screen, bro. We can talk about it
Yeah,
afterwards.
you know what? Especially because it's not late, but it's also like it's getting close to 11, and
Yeah. You can talk about it with me afterwards, man.
yeah,
You want to.
it's getting close. What I'll do is I'll make a note of it, um, to remind myself to get into it when next we have a conversation. That's what I'll do. But
But yeah, peace, like, and subscribe. All on.
and appreciate everyone who came by and commented and did give a like. There
And
we
this
go.
has been Fresh2000. See you on the next one.
As soon as I remember how to end this.